The most popular route for people to get to Botswana would be to fly to Maun, but there's also flights to Kasane. I think the most popular route would be Maun, however, because most of your safaris would either start there and then end in Kasane, or you can start there and end again in Maun. And then from there, once you're in Maun, usually your safari vehicle will pick you up at the airport, take you straight to your first camp, which is usually under 2 hours drive away from the town. So it's easy accessible. And like I said earlier, it is quite a wild area, so you start seeing animals from half an hour out of the town along your route to your camp.
So when you're planning your visit to Botswana, for some of the more popular camps, booking a year ahead of travel is definitely the best idea because they have very few numbers of beds and they do get booked up. If you're doing an overland camping trip, there's going to be more flexibility with how quickly you can book before a trip, but in peak season from July to October, the further ahead you can book, the more likely you are to get your first choice of travel dates, destination and routing.
The obvious one is malaria is the major factor. Another thing I'll actually mention, if you're traveling, out of the cooler dry season, obviously things to consider is sunburn and heat stroke. Those can actually be major debilitating factors. I've actually seen people on tour suffering from heat stroke, becoming very ill. So make sure you're always hydrated on safari, sunblocks on. You try and keep in the shade as much as you can and keep cool, especially during the hotter times of year.
Botswana can easily be combined with a visit to Victoria Falls in either Zimbabwe or Livingstone in Zambia. It is very accessible from Chobe, as Dan said earlier. You can now even cross with the new Kazangulo Bridge between Kasane and both Livingstone and Victoria Falls. So that is a very popular one. And then the other one is also Namibia. A lot of people like combining Etosha, for example, with Okavango Delta, especially the overland self-drive people, they like to do that.
So my top insider tip when you're planning your packing for Botswana is that if you're going during the winter months, you really do need a beanie, warm hat and gloves. In the early morning there can be frost on the seat of your game viewing vehicle, and the wind chill does bring the temperature down as well. So as counterintuitive as it is, and you may well be in shorts and t-shirts during the middle of day, you need clothing to layer on and layer off because there are some extreme temperature fluctuations.
My insider tip is concerning around tsetse fly. I think they're very similar to a horsefly. Not a nasty bite. The color blue or dark blue, for some reason tsetse fly are very attracted to that color. Try and avoid wearing a blue or dark blue color, and you'll reduce your chances of getting that nasty bite from a tsetse fly.
I would say my insider tip is, because it's such a natural or nature-orientated destination, you're definitely going to take a lot of photos. And I would always recommend take a spare battery that's charged. Take extra memory cards because you will fill up your camera's memory cards very quickly in Botswana. Less people do it, but you are able to do horse riding, for example, in the Delta or a specific place. I did it was in Savuti. It's a complete different experience. You somehow get closer to animals because they see, I suppose they see the horse as a natural one animal. So you can actually approach them quite nicely, but you have to be an experienced horse rider. You can't be unexperienced and then jump on a horse in the middle of nature because it is a bit rough going, but a lovely experience if you can.
I've thought of a couple of signature experiences in Botswana. One is a place called the Kalma Rhino Sanctuary. So if you're wanting to have more of a in-depth experience with rhino, that's one that you could do. And then the quad biking on the Mahari Pans is quite a unique experience, something you can add on top of your safari as a optional activity. Those are the two that I would suggest.
So one quite new experience that's becoming available in Botswana, although it is very seasonal, is to see the zebra migration. And this is something that had been stopped by people putting fences up between different areas in Botswana. Those fences have now been taken down and the zebra have returned to their old migratory routes. So at certain times of year, that is something that if you're going to the Pans, you would be hoping to see.
When you get to Botswana, before your safari, make sure that you, especially if you do a camping style tour, make sure you buy all your drinks and beverages before you leave on tour, because you're going to be in the bush for the next week or how many days you're going to be. outside of civilization, you might not be able to get your drinks, your water, all of that. So it's always good to prepare before you head into the Delta.
If you're going on safari with your family and you got children under the age of 18, Botswana still require that you travel with an unabridged birth certificate. It's proof that the child belongs to you. And also, if you are a single parent or say grandparents are taking the child on safari, you'd also need a letter of consent to go with that. So those are common things people overlook. So check the requirements when you're traveling to Botswana, the paperwork.
So like and subscribe. Also feel free to join a 6-part email course that will answer everything you need to know about going on safari in the link below. And check out our website. We have many tours of all various durations and styles for each country in East and Southern Africa.